Hey there, coming to you today from the forest talking about chanting. I was inclined to really start to talk about chanting today, and I think it's such a powerful exercise that we can do that might feel a little cringy, like the kids use that word. It might feel like, oh, I don't know, it's like sound weird. It's like, I feel all self-conscious because I'm making this sound over and over again. But let's talk about why it's good for you. Okay, so chanting is really, really repetitive. It's very meditative. It is full of devotion, right? So let's get into all that. But first, I just want to welcome you. My name is Marie. That's my dog back there. He loves to be in some of the videos, and I'm so happy that you're here. It's going to be a beautiful journey through chanting today and all the benefits for you. So stick around. All right. So chanting. When I think of chanting, I think of the Buddhist chanting in a lot of ways. I mean, I know there's many others, but the first thing that came to my mind, famous chanting, Om Mani Padme Hum, right? We've all heard that. And I started to look into that a little bit, and I'll get back to that in a moment. But you have this chanting that's really repetitive, really healing, really meditational, and it does a number of things for your system. So we know that we have the parasympathetic nervous system, and that nervous system, when that's activated, we relax. We are no longer in fight or flight. We realize that, okay, now it's time for the body to rebuild, to work on the immune system, to release toxins, to do all these things that we can't do when we're in fight or flight or stressed mode, right? And which, unfortunately, in our current society, we're quite a bit in that fight or flight mode. So when you chant, that's the parasympathetic nervous system is activated and you start to feel relaxed, which is really incredible. The second thing that happens is it starts to activate your feel-good hormones. We've all heard about those, right? So it starts to pump those hormones into your system. And you can do that in many different ways. You can go for a run, that starts to activate it, right? You can give somebody a hug. If you stay there for a little while, I think it's like 20, 30 seconds, that starts to happen too. You get those really lovely hormones. So remember to keep your hugs a little long. And you can just sit in the sun. You can drink water. There's all kinds of beautiful things that you can do. But if we go back to chanting, this really helps you in terms of making you feel better. And who doesn't want that, right? It's really, really awesome. It also allows you to quiet the mind. So it's very similar to meditation, right? It becomes really meditative. It's almost like having a mantra, right? I don't know if you've done meditations where you have mantras. I've done those. It's like you kind of sit down and you're repeating the same mantra over and over and over again. And it allows the brain to focus on that, which in this case, focus on the chant where you're repeating it over and over again. And you can relax into that so that your system, your brain, doesn't have to think, oh, I wonder if I should buy some groceries later. I'm gonna write down cheese. Cheese was important. And then, oh wow, I can't forget to email, that person. I promised I would do that. And oh wait, I'm meditating. Right? So chanting or having a mantra in meditation really allows you to bring that mind, monkey mind as we sometimes call it, it's constantly jumping around trying to figure things out, to settle back in and to listen to that repetition. Continually listen to that repetition of the mantra that you're doing. And if we come back to the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, we know that the first letter, Om or Aum, is the primordial sound of the universe. If you do that, where you start with the oh, and then go back into the oh, and then go into the you actually feel those vibrations here, and that's really incredible to do that. Like take a deep breath and just go ah, oh, right? So that's how this chant starts. That's this famous Buddhist chant. The other 3 words, they relate to dissolving and releasing your attachment to judgment, to aggression, through jealousy, through possession of things, of people, of thoughts, of beliefs, so that you can become what's underneath all of that. The compassionate human being, that's you, that's full of love, that's almost childlike in its expression, that's innocent, that's beautiful, that doesn't have judgment, doesn't feel like it owns other people, doesn't feel like it's jealous of its neighbor, right? So that's why that mantra is so famous, because it kind of helps you release all that stuff. So why don't we do a little exercise together and we try to do a chant today? Who's up for it, right? Try to find an empty spot, right? You can go into the forest like me, or if you can't, you put yourself in a room where you won't be disturbed, and you sit down on the floor maybe, or on the couch, and you start the mantra that you select, right? You start the chant, and you can do that any way you want, and you start repeating it, and you're gonna feel silly in the beginning. Your mind is gonna be like, oh, this is silly. You're gonna say to your mind, yes, it's silly, let's continue. I'm doing this for you. So you reassure your mind by saying, yes, I know I look ridiculous right now. We're just going to continue, trust me. And you continue with your chant, and you do that. Let's say we pick 5 minutes. Do 5 minutes of your chant, and you can then increase that time. And see how you feel before, and record how you feel after, right? Maybe you feel stressed, anxious, out of your body, not in connection with your breath. Maybe your breath is all the way up here, and then after you write, I feel more relaxed, my mind has slowed down, I feel happier, I now feel like I can go out for a walk because I feel energized. Notice the difference, okay? And then let me know, so we can chat below and see, hey, that really worked. Because all these things are for us to elevate ourselves vibrationally, so that we can be the best that we can be, right? That we are, that we're supposed to be, and loving every single day. Lots of love.